I remember exactly the moment when we heard the words come out of Boris Johnson's mouth, and I literally jumped up, grabbed my keys, legged it out the door to the co-op, masked, gloved, panic bought everything I could buy, bought Ted a birthday cake because it was his birthday.
At first we did spend like a whole month in our home not seeing anybody, and it was just really confusing, dark, depressing time.
We were already locking down beforehand, just because I was aware with the drugs that I take for lupus, my immune system's kind of unpredictable. For me, it was more a shock that all the things I was working to with my artwork all got postponed. Everything was going to happen in May, and I had a few days where I cried a lot about that.
Our other housemate, she didn't really want like Mac to move in because she has asthma, so she was kind of like unsure about like someone new coming into quarantine. And then also one of our other housemates, he works in a Deliveroo kitchen, so it's no customers.
It was essential work.
So he was named as an essential worker, but that was another problem because she didn't want the people coming in and out of the house and having more interaction.
But we'd already had the children off for a week because we'd already felt iffy about sending them to school. So we'd almost had like a soft lockdown.
And like we've noticed that like a lot of the government's recommendations are very much based on like going back to work and like focused on like economy rebuilding, but a lot of the stuff that's like about socializing and like maintaining your sort of like mental stability and your emotional health has been sort of like condemned or seen to be a bit more like taking risks for the community. Or
so we kind of took it into our own hands from that point and just kind of like decided what would be healthiest for us best. So like if we want to go out and see people but obviously sit far enough away from them and like be covered and then wash our hands and not share things with them, we would do it.
At the beginning I was getting involved in things and arguing, saying but you shouldn't be doing that, you shouldn't be doing that, you shouldn't be doing that. And actually what you need to do is focus on what you're doing, and I realised that pretty soon on. I was getting into arguments with friends, and actually it's none of my business. They're doing what they're doing. They're doing what they think is right. All we can do is what we think is right, and I just backed off social media quite significantly. I wasn't getting involved in it at all.
That's got to be to do with the fact that the whole guidance has been a lack of guidance, because there hasn't been anything concrete about anything. You can look at the amusing graphs that people have made about advice on masks and stuff.
I mean, if it all goes wrong, I might just buy a van and live in that.
You have to weigh up everything, don't you? Every single thing. Going to Sainsbury's, you have to decide how dangerous that's going to be today.
Whether you buy an ice cream or are you going to feel anxious after you bought the ice cream that you shouldn't have bought the ice cream because who touched the ice cream? You know, it's like it's hilarious in some dark, hideous way.
But yeah, it's. I think that although it's been really hard, it's been tough. We haven't really argued.
Not really.
Much.
No, we haven't really.
Yeah, it's been fine.
Yeah.
But it has been really hard. It's been intense.
Yes.
It's been full on. There's no downtime for us. By the time the kids are both in bed, we're done.
What do you reckon is the best thing about lockdown?
the best thing about lockdown, I think in some ways it is like really like nice to have a sort of an excuse to stop and like go inside and introspect a little bit. Like I guess since we've been like in secondary school, we've sort of been like just on the go, and there's always been like something that you're supposed to be doing.
We've never had time since either of them were born where we've all been together like this for this amount of time. I hadn't worked. I'm back sort of working now, but for 2.5 months we were at home together. I've never had that. It's also been really nice. I mean, we've been talking to our neighbours way more than we ever would have done. You know, we've got students over the road. They're lovely. They've helped us out when we've needed. We've helped them out.
It feels like where we're going with this at the moment, there's going to be two tiers of people. There's going to be the people who have to self-isolate or distance, and there's going to be the people who don't. And their experiences are going to be hugely different. And at the moment, it feels like the people who are vulnerable are just going to be not heard anymore. And this kind of underclass that doesn't actually get any thought. No one's, how does somebody go back to work if they've got a vulnerable child or if they're vulnerable?
That's the thing that's changed, isn't it? That kind of unknown
Yeah.
sort of fear, excitement thing has gone, and now it's just become this kind
Monotony.
of ooh. And lots of people are dropping their guard, and
Yeah.
I still feel like I have to keep it up if I'm going to see my parents, and
Yeah.
it does make strange kind of rifts really within
Yeah.
friendships where they're letting their kids do something that you're not, and they immediately think that you're judging them, and
Yeah.
there's no judgment at all. Everyone's doing what they feel is right and what they have to do, and that's fine.
I was saying to Ben, I feel really like I'm losing my agency. Like how do I go? I had a dream where I didn't know how to go into a shop, and I thought, well, that's, you know, I've travelled around the world by myself, and now I'm scared to go up the road and whether I could go into a shop if I had to. And that just seems mad.
The worst thing for me is probably just like the sheer like dread of knowing that you're finishing uni and you're already entering a world where jobs are scarce, and now obviously the virus has happened and everything's just looking more and more bleak.
So you have to kind of weigh it all up yourself, and it's quite a lot of stress and responsibility at that point. It certainly clouded my dreams. I dream about social distancing. I don't know about, you know, the last thing I want to do is make the gig that we went to in February be the last gig I ever go to in the world.
At the moment, we can enjoy
Yeah.
the sun, but when the winter comes round, it's not going to be like that. And
No,
we're going to have some.
it'll be done by then.
It's more long-term plans, I suppose, that are the things that make me go a bit like, oh God.
I want to go and dance with people again. I don't want it. I'm looking forward to the other side of it, but I feel like it's going to get dragged out if it's not put to bed properly before people are behaving as if everything, it was all just a bad dream, everything's back to normal. It's not yet. There's still hundreds of people dying every day.
I mean, it has.
think
It's
so.
it's been hard, and every now and again you have to
Yeah.
remind yourself that it's major what's going on.
Yeah.
You know, it is serious. People are dying, but it has had its definite positive side for us.
Being so divided, it's really taken away a bit of humanity for me. I feel not completely myself without the ability to join up with other people
Yeah.
and just to be in the same space and to have a good time.
Yeah.
And
I think
I'm
we
hoping
both
that
really
that's
like
coming back.
people
Yeah.
and like to see people, and I think that will be the best. Even though you could talk about going on holiday, or I don't know, something that's felt a bit more of an event, I think just generally being able to interact
Yeah, feel integrated
and give
not
my
be
friend a hug,
divided.
you know. I can't wait to hug people.
Yeah.
Do you know, I'm going to be hugging everyone, watch out.